Doing all you're going to eat that today at 12:30. Tons of Michigan talk to open the show. If you're dying to hear what we had to say, you can always use the Odyssey app and the Rewind feature to go back and listen. The updates of what I'm hearing out of Ann Arbor. In the meantime, we are talking to Little Lions, asking a question. How can the Lions go to L.A. and beat the Rams? Look, that's a Rams offense. When you talk about, okay, what are the keys to offense? Well, let's start with the quarterback. Is the quarterback slinging it this year? Yup. Are they getting production out of the running game with Kyron Williams and an emerging Blake Corum? Yup. Are the receivers making plays? Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams? Yup. Are they getting production out of their tight ends? They have 4 tight ends that have accumulated for 10 touchdowns. Yup. Is the line protecting Stafford? His 18.4% pressure rate is amongst the smallest number of the NFL leaders in passing. Yup. I don't know what else to say other than their offense is clicking on all cylinders.
Well, both of these offenses are. They're near mirror images of each other. They both have a tandem of running backs and get it done. They both have, a whole room full of receivers that just get the job done. They both have quarterbacks that have been, very efficient and take care of the football. I mean, between them, they only have 9 interceptions in over nearly 850 passes. They've only thrown 9 interceptions. Mm-hmm. Both quarterbacks are taking care of the football. And it's, I think these teams are pretty evenly matched offensively. It's defensively we're seeing a little bit of a separation because, in large part, the Lions have significant injuries that they're having to deal with yet again, and it starts in the secondary where it does every year.
From Smooth Keys 99 on Twitter, pound the run game and set up the play action. Short crossing routes to St. Brown and let him escape with extra yards. Check downs to Gibbs and let him create. Occasional deep route to J-Mo. Goff just doesn't have time for anything bigger. Defense needs to limit, not stop, limit.
Well, you can't do the play action game unless you're able to run the ball. You got to keep them honest with that. And if they're able to do that, if the Lions are able to run the ball, their offense is going to be just fine. But if they're not able to run it, it could be more of a struggle.
But if you can't run it, I think using Gibbs out of the backfield or lining him outside with the short passes, those are like long handoffs. And you get Gibbs in space, we all know what can happen. But I think the key is if they can't get the run game going, the completions still have to pile up. Yeah. You can't have incompletions. You got to have ball control. And that means dumping it off to Gibbs every now and then, even check downs, whatever it is. Keep that offense on the other side off the field. You keep the ball. If you get the third down, make it manageable.
I feel so much better if they had tight ends in this game.
I know, right? I hear you.
But maybe
I think the guy who started the last 3 games, hasn't Dwelly started the last 3 games?
They just let him go.
And they let him go.
Well, because Zylstra's, I think, getting healthy.
Yeah, Zylstra's going to be back, but I mean, obviously, it's a far cry from Laporta, and it's a far cry from Brock Wright.
It's still just kind of wild that a guy goes from starter to released. He doesn't even get a spot on the depth chart.
But what we do see is Montgomery in the backfield and Gibbs lined up as a receiver.
Yeah.
Or more Tesla. Or if Tom Kennedy's going to be, is TK going to be activated again?
I don't know. Raymond's coming back.
He wants to come back. And okay.
If I were in Khalif Raymond's shoes, I'd be trying to get back on the field in a hurry.
I think when Khalif comes back, didn't Phipps say that Khalif's going to do the punts and Tom Kennedy's going to handle the kickoff return? So that means both of them would be active if that were the case.
248-539-9797. Here's my question for Lions fans for this game. It's a game against the Rams. A storyline I don't have a ton of particular interest in is Lions versus Stafford. We haven't done it, and I feel like we did it the first game. And then when they opened up, which was in the playoffs, and then when they opened up the next year with it, we were like, okay, we've done this.
Yeah.
We don't need to do it again. Does he evoke any emotion anymore, or is he just the quarterback of the other team?
I think there's always going to be a little bit of nostalgia when you see the guy who used to be here for that long.
For you personally,
for me, there's a little bit of residual effect there. I mean, I have nothing against Stafford. I didn't. Yeah, I thought he was a great quarterback for this team. Unfortunately, it just didn't work out, and it was the breakup was interesting that it happened the way it did. That he's the one that asked for it, and I can understand why he was. And frankly, it's benefited both teams. Obviously, the Rams got more of a benefit. They won a Super Bowl out of it. But the Lions got a huge benefit. They were able to rebuild the team and have their franchise quarterback. Yeah. Love Jared Goff.
Yeah.
So it's worked out well, and I'm glad it has worked out well, certainly for the Lions, because I don't have to hate Stafford. And I think there's a sense where somebody else that would leave to go somewhere else that you root against them openly. And maybe they say things about the former team that you really – and Stafford hasn't done any of that. Stafford's always been very complimentary of his time here in Detroit, of the team that's there now. And, he's very comfortable in his situation. And I don't watch Stafford wearing the number 9 jersey for the Rams and go, I hate that guy. I don't. I just go, yeah, that's the guy who used to play for the Lions. Okay.
Okay. I have zero emotions. I was the biggest Stafford supporter on the station.
You were.
And now to me, I have no emotion towards him whatsoever. He is simply the nameless, faceless guy over there that we have to try and stop. And, I don't think Detroit is screaming for more Stafford coverage. I think we've moved on collectively. I'm intrigued if he even evokes any emotion anymore. Because at first, maybe there was some emotion to beat him. I think some people wanted to beat him more than anything. But that story's been done so many times that it just doesn't really need to be. And I guess then why are you bringing it up, Doug, is the ultimate question. Because if you care, you can let us know. I don't really care. So
I don't think it's a storyline for me personally anymore.
Yeah.
But I definitely don't want him to win the MVP. I still have that spite.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay,
anybody but Matthew Stafford for MVP.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
It's like
it's enough.
Yeah, you got a Super Bowl.
Yeah, you know what? It'd be great if the Lions defense showed up on Sunday and embarrassed Stafford a little bit. Got to him a few times. He turns the ball over a few times. That would be amazing. Because that would absolutely derail all the Stafford for MVP talk, which is going on right now.
Well, it'd be cool to see that because that means the Lions win. If the Lions win the Super Bowl, they could give Kelly Stafford the MVP. I wouldn't care. I don't care who gets the MVP.
Well, if it's the other option, us winning the Super Bowl, yes, Doug.
Sure.
Thanks for clarifying. I agree with you there.
That's my consolation prize.
Right.
I get
You can have all the MVPs for the rest of his career winning the Super Bowl.
Right.
I will only care about that when the season's over, when I have nothing else to root for. I'm not wasting any energy rooting against Stafford's MVP case, is my point.
I'm not going to waste the energy, but it's
I can do many things at once. Okay?
It's nice aside.
Unlike you, I guess.
Fair enough.
If he turns the ball over, I'm not.
One thing and one thing only over here.
Yeah,
focus on this, singularly focused on winning. If you're not focused on winning, Kang, it comes back to haunt you.
So they can get the Stafford, though, Gator. I know you're thinking maybe they can't do the same thing they did to the Cowboys, but the one thing I said, apparently after the game, they said was they let the guys rush the passer. And then instead of switching into run fits all the time and things like that, because they're always worried about the run stopping the run. I get that. But they might do the same thing this week as well, since they saw how successful it was against Dak and the Cowboys. And then you leave it up to Campbell and the guys, in the middle, or DJ Reader to stop the run. But if they let those outside guys like Muhammad and Hutch go more, you get more pressures, more sacks. It could be a way to get to Stafford.
Well, because, look, if you're going to say pin your ears back, go get the quarterback, I love it. Because Stafford's not the guy who's going to take off and go for 10, 15, 20 yards down the sideline because you gave up contain because you just bared down and tried to get him around the tackle to get to the quarterback. Dak Prescott was a guy that could hurt you a little bit with his feet, and they were able to get to Dak Prescott. Now, the Cowboys had a ton of offense. They had a bunch of yards. They scored 30 points in the game.
Yep.
And that's not ideal for a defense. But when your offense is going to score 44, you're like, well, who cares?
Okay, one thing we're known for, we've got a reputation for, is taking over stadiums. But right now, the Rams are the best team in the NFC. And we've been taking over stadiums for a long time. The Bills come home, and it starts to get expensive. Do we expect a Lions takeover this Sunday? Are you making the trip to L.A.? Because while L.A. has been one of the easier places to get tickets, with the Rams being this good, do you think people are going to travel to L.A. as much as they have in the past? Anybody out there making the trip? 248-539-9797. Additionally, as it stands right now, would you invest in a trip to L.A. or would you invest in a trip to Chicago? If you could do one or the other. 248-539-9797. Got Are You Going to Eat That coming up? 97.1 The Ticket.